5,000 years ago, as pharaohs raised Egyptian pyramids and Sumer expanded, a new urban life took root in the American desert. Located in the Norte Chico region of modern-day Peru, this civilization grew to include 30 population centers, with massive metropolises like Caral spreading out across 150 acres of the arid plateau. Yet extensive archaeological excavations across these sites have uncovered a puzzling absence. There are no defensive walls, no stone battlements, no weapons, and no mutilated bodies. The Caral-Supe managed this network of 30 major sites without leaving a single trace of conflict. They challenged the assumption that early, complex societies could only be forged through warfare. To understand how they achieved this, you have to look at the landscape. The Peruvian littoral is an extreme coastal desert squeezed between the Andes Mountains and Pacific rain shadows. It is one of the most difficult places on Earth to sustain a city. They navigated this environment by engineering a symbiotic trade loop between the coast and the inland river valleys. Coastal settlements like Aspero harvested the Pacific's cold currents, catching massive amounts of anchovies and shellfish to feed the growing inland populations. To catch that much fish, those coastal towns needed massive nets. Inland cities like Caral used river irrigation to cultivate vast fields of cotton, trading the fibers back to the coast to keep the fishing industry moving. This exchange of calories for textiles generated a concentration of wealth previously unseen in the Americas. This first major civilization was built on a foundation of mutual survival. By 2500 BCE, the inland capital of Caral was at peak. It was a thriving metropolis where elite citizens wore fine cotton textiles and feasted on sea lion meat. This image shows the distinct layout at the heart of the sacred city. At the foot of these large terraced pyramids, measuring up to 18 meters tall, the Carolinos constructed massive, sunken circular amphitheaters for public gatherings. Inside these plazas, archaeologists have found dozens of flutes carved from the bones of condors and pelicans, pointing to a society deeply invested in religious ceremony and music. To manage the vast wealth flowing through these plazas without a traditional written alphabet, the state relied on a technology known as the quipu. This is a surviving example, consisting of intricate knotted strings suspended from a wooden crossbar. Through a complex series of knots and string placements, administrators could track the volume of trade passing through the region, recording numeric and logographic data. Because the Caral-Supe did not pour their surplus wealth and labor into standing armies, human ambition was redirected into commerce, ceremony, and monumental engineering. But a society balanced on the mechanics of desert agriculture and specific marine currents was highly vulnerable. Around 1820 BCE, the environment began to shift. The geological record shows a magnitude 7.2 earthquake violently rocked the Supe Valley, tearing apart the stone and mud irrigation canals. Successive tremors triggered massive rock and mudslides, choking the remaining waterways with debris and threatening the cotton crops that sustained their trade network. A global climate event then triggered severe El Niño and La Niña oscillations. Warm, nutrient-poor water bands pushed against the coastline, disrupting the cold currents that brought the fish. The shifting ocean temperatures drove fish populations to deeper waters, while inland droughts and coastal winds buried the once fertile valleys in sand. The tragedy of the Caral-Supe was that their pacifism offered no protection against the shift. They were facing an environmental force they could neither trade with nor fight. The extreme weather battered the remaining settlements. Violent torrents of mud and floodwaters tore through the terrain, overwhelming their ability to rebuild the agricultural infrastructure. In response, priests burned massive offerings at the altar of the holy fire, pleading with deities for the return of rainfall. This stark, upright stone monolith stood outside pyramids that were quickly losing their population. Temple friezes at nearby Vichama capture the physical toll of this period, depicting starving figures and dead toads, a visual record of a population pushed to the brink. By 1800 BCE, facing total economic and agricultural collapse, the survivors permanently abandoned their sacred city. The fall of Caral shows that even the most cooperative and prosperous societies depend entirely on the stability of their environmental foundation. The ruins of Caral were eventually swallowed by the desert sands. It took modern archaeologists, led by Dr. Ruth Shady, to unearth their true scale and restore the civilization to the history of the Americas. But while the city was abandoned, its innovations were not. The survivors migrated into the Andes, carrying their knowledge of textiles and architecture with them. Those specific technologies, the quipu accounting strings and the terraced agricultural layouts, survived for millennia, directly shaping the foundation of the Inca Empire. The history of the Caral-Supe demonstrates that human beings can reach the pinnacle of wealth and complex organization through peaceful cooperation rather than conquest. It also shows how quickly those achievements can vanish. The first great society of the Americas flourished for over 1,000 years, then disappeared when the climate shifted, leaving us to consider the stability of the environmental